So, happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm going with a different look today. I'm going back to the green screens right here. We got the Jalen Hurts Kelly green in the background. So, yes, sir, back to the green screens, and we're trying a white layout this time, white on black. So, welcome to Sports Talk from the Heart with Nicky Steez. This is episode 15. Please make sure if you're coming in to drop a like and subscribe to both the Hardcore Sports Network and Nicky Steez channel. I'll drop the link to both in the comment section before we get this started. So I'm going to give it a few minutes. Let some of you guys file in here. Stop by in the chat. Say hello. You guys know the deal by now. But obviously, you probably got a feeling, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk Eagles. I'm going to talk about the NFL Week 2 recap. And also going to talk a little bit about college football and preview Week 3. Now, what I'm actually planning on doing this time is a little different. I plan on Friday dropping a preview for the Buccaneers game. So I'm going to wait a few more days, see what the injury report indicates for the Eagles before I drop that right there. So there's going to be a bit of a wait so not going to do the typical recap and preview. I'm still going to do the recap for the Eagles and the Vikings, which I'm going to start off talking about that game, going through it. And then I'm going to talk some Week 2. Then we're going to talk a little bit about college football. Then going to give a small preview to Week 3. But yeah, so we're going to get into it now. So the Philadelphia Eagles are indeed, folks, 2-0. We got a 34-28 victory over the Minnesota Vikings at home for the second straight year. We beat the Vikings on primetime Week 2. This matchup was obviously a lot different. It was a lot closer and more competitive by the end. Now, with that being said, it started off as a blowout. It was looking like we were going to mop the floor with the Vikings, figuratively, especially at the start of the second half where we got that fumble recovered by Fletcher Cox. Then you get that touchdown right there. Then eventually Hurts hits Devontae Smith, hits Smitty with a bomb. It was looking like it was going to be a blowout. But then the defense, all the injuries started to catch up to the defense. They let their foot off the gas pedal. Vikings scored a few times. Now, fortunately for us, we did get a DeAndre Swift long run and a touchdown when it was 27-21 to help put us up 34-21. And fortunately, the onside kick was recovered by us. Because I remember when that onside kick, I was worried that I'm like, please recover it. Because at that point, I didn't trust our defense to be able to hold up if they would have recovered that onside kick. So I was glad that we recovered that kick because I feel like that helped save us toward the end because our defense was collapsing. Now, part of it, like I said, I understand injuries played a role in it. You didn't have James Bradbury there. You didn't have Nakobe Dean in. So obviously you were missing a few pieces there. And then, of course, Avonte Maddox gets hurt during the game as well, which he's going to be probably miss some time. Now, starting with Avonte Maddox, I dropped the short saying it. It's like, I really do. It's a shame that he keeps getting injured, but when you look at it from a football standpoint, he's a guy you can replace in the long term. Because, when he's healthy, he can play solid, he can be an asset, but he often gets injured. So he becomes more of a liability if he's missing a lot of time. I mean, last year he was healthy. He really helped out, but this is going to be the fourth season in his career he's missed some time due to injury. So I just feel like, sadly, Avonte Maddox is a guy you can replace in the long term. You can either get him another guy in free agency, through the draft, through a trade. I mean, one of the three, you can find a replacement for the guy, sadly, in the long term. Now, as far as where we stand right now, I mean, that's terrible right there. I mean, I'm really hoping that this extra week time we got in between Week 2 and 3 will allow the guys like Bradbury to get healthy. Now, he did say Bradbury and Gainwell possibly have a chance of playing Week 3. Sirianni said that yesterday, but we don't know for sure. Was it yesterday or was it before? But yes, he said that there's a chance. But we will also have to see. I'm really hoping that by Friday we can get an injury report indicating that, particularly that Bradbury can play because we really need his help in the secondary. We do. Because you see right there, we got Avonte Maddox is down. And you got, and also, right, if we're down just to Slay as our only real guy in our secondary, that's not going to bode well for us, especially after the way especially the way we're collapsing against the pass last week. Allowed Cousins to stat pad late. I mean, I know we're going against Tampa Bay, but still, we're going to need our guys healthy in the secondary. So that was a concern right there. But we will have to wait as the week goes along to see what the injury report indicates, which is why I'm waiting till Friday to preview the Tampa Bay game, because we'll get more of an update on the players. They're on the injury list, whether they're going to play or not, and I can give a better preview of the game based on that. So that's why I'm going to wait for the preview for Tampa Bay. As far as this game against Minnesota goes, don't want to get too off subject. We did have the injuries. We did have the defense collapsing late, which the point I was getting at is, hey, we need to get some of these guys back. Now, as of right now, we do have Eli Ricks. He could possibly get some playing time against Tampa if we need him, especially if Bradbury is unable to come back for week 3. We do have Mario Goodrich and Josh Jobe. They got a little bit of playing time in the Minnesota game, but we'll see how that plays out. Now, as far as that game goes, though, let's talk about the offense. So DeAndre Swift was a freight train. Got 20 carries, close to 200 yards. I mean, he was nice. That was what we were missing in the run game week 1. I mean, I know the Patriots have a decent run defense, but still, we ultimately should have. Yes, Mitch, that's right. We should have been giving him DeAndre Swift those number 1 carries week 1. But hey, we learned our lesson from that. We gave him the number 1 back carries, and it played a difference. It really helped us out offensively. So credit to DeAndre Swift. As long as we keep going forward, we just got to keep feeding him carries as the number 1 back. But that was an excellent performance right there by DeAndre Swift. Deserves a lot of credit. Jalen Hurts, he looked a little bit better than week 1. He did make some nice throws there. He got a few nice deep throws that we didn't really get from him week 1. A couple to Smitty. You had the one in the first half. Then you also had the touchdown in the second half. So there's a few nice deep throws. But there was also a few moments, few head-scratching moments, like that interception to double coverage in the first half. Going back to that, I really just don't understand what he was thinking with that throw. But you know what? Hey, even the best quarterbacks have their head-scratching moments. Even the best of them make mistakes. So I'm not going to be too hard on the guy. But considering last year he was near MVP, obviously that's the standard set. And so far through 2 weeks hasn't matched up to that standard. But I mean, week 1, the offense kind of looked shaky. Week 2, we looked better. Hopefully week 3, we can see Jalen Hurts play up to MVP level last year. But hey, I mean, week 2 against the Vikings, I'll call it it was better than week 1, though. It was better. So I'll say that right there. And also Jake Elliott, too. Got to give credit where credit's due. I think he's Howie's most underrated acquisition. He even tied his career-long 61 yards there right before the end of the half. So shout out to Jake Elliott on that one right there. Right, and the offense, hey, I mean, it was pretty good, especially with the run game, because that run game really helped open some lanes in the passing game, too. Made it a little bit easier on the rest of the team. And that's always the key right there. So that was good right there. That was good. As far as the defense goes, it started off pretty good right there. We got a couple fumbles right there. Got some pressure up front. They were making Cousins run for his life. I mean, they were doing their job early. And it did help play a factor in the game because ultimately they ended up stopping Minnesota from scoring more points by shutting them down throughout the first half and early in the third quarter. So they get some credit right there. Problem was, I think the secondary, having the lack of guys there, caught up to us later, and it allowed Minnesota to make it closer. But it didn't cost us the game. We still won. And like I said, we just got to hope we get healthy with our secondary soon. And that's what I got to say about that right there. But hey, it's a win's a win. I'm happy with that. I mean, we are 2-0 right there, and that's something we're going to need because it's going to be a tough division again this year. I mean, you got Washington's 2-0. I mean, granted, they played both the Broncos and the Cardinals, so they don't exactly make me think, holy smokes, this team could be something. No. But they are still a competitive team, and they could still give us a challenge when we play them, and they could still be in the mix possibly. Now, I'm not sold on them actually taking that next step. I'm still going to have to see what Washington does when they step up in competition, see how they play there. But so far, they are 2-0, so they at least got something going. And the Cowboys, I mean, I expected the Cowboys to be a good regular season team because ultimately they are. Now, I'm not too sold on them come playoff time, but that's a whole nother subject. But regular season wise, they're a good team and they are a threat to possibly beat us for the NFC East. So we got to keep that in mind right there. I mean, it's granted, it's against the Giants and who I think are going to take a step down, and the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. But hey, the Cowboys still took care of business and they're at least doing something. Now, the Giants, I think they're going to take a step back this year. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 7, 8 wins, maybe at best, but they could still be a competitive team, and it's going to be a tough division. It's kind of getting back to that point where all 4 teams in the division are at least competitive at minimum, like it was back during the late 80s, early 90s, and then even in the late 2000s, there were times it was still a competitive division. It's kind of getting back to that point now with the NFC. So it's definitely important that we have that 2-0 start right there to keep up with the competition in our division. And not to mention, as the season goes along, our schedule gets tougher. You got teams like the 49ers, Kansas City, Buffalo, Miami on that schedule. Those are going to be some tough games, especially with Miami. As long as that team comes in healthy, that's going to be a tough one. And Buffalo, hey, I'm willing to forgive them for week 1. I think that was just a bad game. They're still going to be a good team. And Kansas City, that's kind of interesting, but it is only the first 2 weeks. They could still get it together. And by the time we play them in November, Kansas City could be getting hot by that point. So that could still be a big challenge right there. It is going to be a big challenge. But yes, we got the 2-0 start. I'm happy with that. So just be happy we got the win. Let's take the extra time to rest in between weeks 2 and 3, get some of our guys healthy, get them fresh, ready to come back and practice, get them ready for Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay, though, I do think they're a better team than you would suggest on paper. But to be fair, they have beaten the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears, which really aren't that impressive wins, but they are still wins. So Tampa Bay, and they do have a solid defense too. So that's something we got to be careful for, which I'll talk about that more when I preview the game. But hey, I don't think this is necessarily going to be as easy a matchup as it looks on paper. I still think we're going to win this one against Tampa. Don't get me wrong. I still see us being able to win and go to 3-0, but I still think they're a better team than some of us give them credit for. So I wouldn't sleep on Tampa Bay and underestimate them either. But I do feel like as long as we properly prepare for this game, we can at least keep our guys healthy, especially on defense. That's the big one right there, especially as the season goes along. We can still pull this game out and win and go to 3-0. We're definitely going to need that right there. But yeah, nice team win. It was good that we got that win at home. We had the crowd rocking with us. It's a great way to set momentum going forward. We came out there on a shortened week, got the win, got that pressure off your back. Now you get some extra time to rest and come back and get ready for Tampa. So, hey, that's good right there. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I'm going to go over some of the other games as well right there. But I'm going to go over those more briefly, kind of skim through them. So I'm just going to pull up ESPN just so I have the scores on tap with me. It's going to be interesting to talk about. We got some winners and losers going on. Although there was some interesting news right there. I'll subject with the NFL for a second, but that supposedly the XFL and USFL are thinking of a merger, which gets interesting. And I think honestly that could save both those leagues right there, just so they can have something going forward for spring football. But that's that. And we also hear that Cam Akers is on the trading block, rumored, but so far it's only rumored. If something comes out of it, I'll definitely talk about it more. But as of right now, just rumors. All right, so I'm just going to go over the games real quick. Like I said, Eagles beat the Vikings 34-28. Already talked about that. Nice team win. There were some ugly bits, but hey, we could look at the good, look at the bad, go forward from there. So we got the win right there. Green Bay, Atlanta. Oh, as you can tell, my picks were not that good this week. Green Bay, Atlanta. I really thought the Packers were going to come in here and win it. Now, granted, their week 1 win was a win against the Bears, but hey, Falcons found a way to pull it out. But hey, Jordan Love, he had some nice throws here and there. He made a few nice plays, but It's also a key point in this game, too. Not the only point, but was that drop by Jair Alexander, that dropped interception on the Falcons scoring drive. That was a key point, too, because if he doesn't drop that, Falcons don't score, Packers probably win that game and go 2-0. So that is a critical point in that game. It's only one play, so I'm not going to completely blame him for the fact the Packers lost, but it was a critical play in that game that stood out. But hey, the Falcons did a pretty decent job out there. And you got Jesse Bates out there on their defense now. So far, though, it's only 2 weeks in, so not going to get completely hyped over their 2-0 start, but Falcons could at least be a decent team. Desmond Ridder, I don't know about him in the long term, though. I think that it's going to be one of the things that'll catch up to the Falcons. And plus, when they step up in competition as the season goes along, I think you'll start to see them get exposed. But for now, they are 2-0. So credit to the Falcons for that. Ravens and Bengals, Burrow got hurt again. I think the Bengals are going to start falling off. I even thought back at the preseason when Burrow got injured, I'm thinking, oh, this might be a downgrade for the Bengals this year. And the fact that he left and came out of the game again makes me think he came back from injury too soon. And I think the Bengals are in trouble. But hey, the Ravens, as long as they got Lamar healthy, that's one of their big things right there. Keep Lamar Jackson healthy. And he did have some nice throws, too, as well in that game. So, hey, as long as Lamar Jackson stays healthy, that gives the Ravens their best chance. So, congrats to the Ravens on a 2-0 start. Just got to hope you can keep your QB healthy. The Chargers, I'm speechless. I am. No matter what Justin Herbert does to try to carry that team, something always gets in the way. That defense behind a so-called defensive mastermind coach in Brandon Staley can't cover for shit. I don't know why he's even considered defensive mastermind when his defense is trash. They made Ryan Tannehill look good for this week. So, yeah, that's not good right there. But, hey, at the same time, give credit. Tannehill did what he needed to. He played good for a week. And the Titans, hey, they're just lucky they're at least 1-1. Like as Tampa Bay beat Chicago. Justin Fields, I got to see. I still don't see it from him as a passer. I don't. And every time we see him, what do they always show? Run plays, which is indicating he's not really making any impressive throws. Because you can say what you want about Lamar, but when you see his highlights, you still see some throws in there. So you at least know you're getting some passes from Lamar that are doing something. Whereas Justin Fields, I haven't seen that. He's more of a running back. Now, granted, I know the Bears have a bad offensive line, and overall they're just a bad team rebuilding, but still. Where's that next step from Justin Fields as a quarterback? I just don't see it. In Tampa Bay, hey, take the win with it. Congratulations. We'll see you next week. Bills and Raiders. Now, this is what we would have expected. This is a game we expected. Buffalo Bills put week 1 behind them, destroyed the Raiders. Raiders got exposed, looked mortal. Josh McDaniels, well, he's Josh McDaniels. And you got Seattle Seahawks, Detroit Lions. This was a good game. This was a nice bounce back for the Seahawks. Now, both teams played a good game offensively, but Seahawks got the better of them. And it's like, see, I'm still not fully sold on the Lions as a potential playoff team, especially with that defense, man, because this is looking just like last year. Strong offensive performance, but bad defense, and they lose a close game. Now, Kansas City, Jacksonville, hey, Kansas City got the win they needed, as expected, but I was surprised. This was a low-scoring game. And that's why I'm kind of iffy about Kansas City. They lost week 1 to the Detroit. Then they had a low-scoring game. Only 17 points against the Jaguars? I don't know. Kind of shaky start for Kansas City, but I wouldn't count them out just yet because you remember 2021, they started off the season where you were wondering, where are they going? But they managed to finish strong and still win their division. So I'm not going to throw in the towel on them just yet. And the Indianapolis beat the Houston Texans. It was expected. Anthony Richardson had a decent start, but he did leave with a concussion. So that was another big injury right there. There were several key injuries this week. Anthony Richardson with the concussion. And you had Saquon Barkley week to week and Nick Chubb. That might sadly be the end of his career. But yeah, Anthony Richardson was one of them. But fortunately for Indianapolis, they were playing the Houston Texans, so that helped them escape with the win here. And for the Texans, I mean, this is DeMeco Ryans' first year as a coach, but why would you kick a field goal when you were down big instead of going for it? You got to take that chance right there and try to go for it. I don't know what they were thinking. And the 49ers beat the Rams. This was a pretty good game right here. I mean, you had the Rams, you had Puka Nakua stepping up. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, but he stepped up and played a good game, and he gave that offensive spark, which gave him a chance and made the game competitive. But ultimately, the better team won. So congrats to the 49ers on a 2-0 start. And the Rams, the way they're playing this year, I think the Rams might have a chance at least sneaking in as a wild card if everyone stays healthy. And the Cardinals, Giants, I mean, what is this? This is either I think it's a combination of two things. Brian DeBall got on the Giants at halftime, told them, hey, guys, put that first game behind you. Get that shell shock out of your system. Get it together. Win this game. Move on. And I think it worked. But at the same time, this can also be a contribution to they were lucky they were playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are trash. Jonathan Gannon blew a big lead. Now, I could come out here and laugh at Jonathan Gannon, especially being that I didn't like his defensive style when he was the Eagles coordinator, but I don't want to laugh yet because we still got to play the Cardinals later this year. I don't want to run the risk of jinxing it. This is what happened 4 years ago with Miami. Remember that first year with Brian Flores as the Dolphins coach, and they were awful. They went into our matchup with them 2-9. We went in 5-6. And I was one of the ones laughing at the Dolphins early when they were getting blown out by teams like the Ravens and the Cowboys. I'm like, oh, this team's a joke. And then guess what happened? They beat us. They beat us when it came time to play them. So even though I could try to laugh again, I'm not because I don't want to jinx it just in case. I mean, I don't think they can beat us, but I just don't want to run that risk of jinxing it. So I'm not going to laugh. All I'm going to say is, on the flip side, this is a terrible choke job by the Cardinals. I mean, I get it. They don't have Kyler Murray there, but still just not good right there. I mean, you're already going into the season with your backs against the wall. This could be a confidence and morale destroyer. Cowboys, Jets, we kind of saw the writing on the wall. I mean, the Cowboys, they are a talented team on both sides of the ball, and they are a good regular season team. So we expect them to take care of business here against the Aaron Rodgers-less New York Jets. And you got Zach Wilson as the quarterback. You really think he's going to grow up that quickly and start making the right decisions? I'm sorry, he's not. It was an expected win for the Cowboys. Then you get the Broncos, Commanders. I actually picked the Broncos here. And they started off good. But then they blew it. Russell Wilson had a few head-scratching throws, and you know what? You blew it, Broncos. But at the same time, the Commanders, congratulations. They did what they needed to do. You had Madden-generated running back Brian Robinson. Helped out a little bit. But hey, a nice team win there. It's a good start for the Sam Howell era, and it's good for them that they were able to pull off a comeback. It could give them a bit of a confidence booster. Now, where does Washington go with that going forward? Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But hey, at the same time, got to congratulate Washington. Hey, you're 2-0. Just be happy with it while it lasts. Dolphins and Patriots. Dolphins won this game. I mean, Patriots, you're really missing that quarterback, aren't you? I know you're missing TB12. Say what you want to say about the guy, but they're missing him. And they're actually missing some real presence at quarterback for sure. But hey, Dolphins 2-0. Hey, when their team's healthy, they can do stuff. So they just got to hope they can stay healthy again. Saints and Panthers, pretty much a boring game. You didn't really get much from either team. The Saints went into prevent defense when they were up 20-9. All prevent defense does is prevent you from holding on. You got lucky the Panthers weren't able to do anything after that with the ball. Just take the win, run with it. Derek Carr didn't really impress me that much. Steelers, Browns. Can't help but wonder if Nick Chubb didn't get hurt, would this game have been different? But at the same time, Deshaun Watson looks rusty. He does. I think that nearly 2 years off may have hurt his play. But you know what? I don't feel any sympathy for the guy. He's got no one to blame for himself for that. If he would have just kept his hands clean and stopped with all his crap with the women, guess what? He wouldn't have missed the 2021 and most of the 2022 season. So he's also got no one to blame but himself for all that rust, possibly messing up his throwing mechanics. And quite frankly, he's just lucky he's in the NFL at this point after what he was doing. Because lucky he's not locked up. Now, as far as this week goes, and with the injuries right there, you did have notable injuries. Saquon Barkley. You also had, of course, Nick Chubb's injury, which sadly could be a career ender. And you did have C.J. Gardner-Johnson got injured for the Lions. That's going to hurt their secondary right there, not having C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, this is the second year in a row he suffered a major injury. So, got to wonder how efficient will C.J. Gardner be in the long term? Will he just be efficient when accessible? Is he going to be one of those players that's only efficient when accessible and healthy? But he's going to miss time. Like, sadly, that might be what happens to him. But yeah, there are several key injuries right there. But hey, that's part of football though. And this is going to affect the teams going forward. Now for the Giants, if Barkley missed some time and they have to solely rely on Daniel Jones, I don't think they have that good of a chance over these upcoming weeks, that is. Now, for Saquon, at worst, he might miss a couple weeks, but he's not going to be done for the season. But these could still be crucial games for the Giants in a competitive division, so it's still going to hit them if he misses some time. For that reason right there. To lose a few games early in that competitive division, it could haunt them later. Now, yeah, and especially for the Giants, they got to play the 49ers on Thursday, which right now we'll get to that. We're going to do a week 3 preview. I'm going to show you the screen through Pick'em, show you the games. Now, Giants, 49ers. I think 49ers are going to win this game. And then Titans and Browns. I don't know what to expect at this point. I don't. I mean, the Browns are still considered the favorites, but I don't know. This could be a toss-up, but I still got time to decide. I think it's going to depend on how the Browns play. Now, I think the Browns, being they have a better defense than the Chargers, Ryan Tannehill shouldn't play. I don't think he's going to play as good this week. But with the Browns now, with Deshaun Watson, not sure if he can still be that guy. And with Nick Chubb being gone, that could be a low-scoring game, I think. I mean, I'll take the Browns for now, but I could change that later. Lions and Falcons. I think the Lions are the better team, especially with their offense. I mean, this will be the toughest game of Atlanta for the season so far, and I think they'll come out. Packers and Saints, that's kind of a tough one right there. All depends on how their offense gets cooking. And New Orleans, I'm not impressed with them. Sure, they're 2-0, but against who? The Tennessee Titans and Carolina Panthers, yeah, I'm just not feeling it. I still think the Packers got them. Dolphins and Broncos, give me the Dolphins. Take care of business. They're still healthy. They got a chance. Vikings and Chargers. Oh, good. This is the ultimate. You can't trust either team. The ultimate battle of the cursed NFL franchises. I don't trust that Chargers defense at all. I don't trust them. Their defense is doo-doo. Vikings will probably win. Cousins will cook. And we'll feel sorry for Justin Herbert. Jets and Patriots. I don't know. Until the Jets actually find a way to beat the Patriots, I just don't trust them. I just don't. Bills and Commanders, give me Buffalo. I think Washington will come crashing down on this one. Jaguars, Texans, give me the Jaguars. Ravens, yep, give me the Ravens. Panthers, Seahawks, give me the Seahawks. Bryce Young is still green as hell. Panthers got a lot of work to do. Oh, give me Kansas City over the Bears. This is going to be relatively easy. Cowboys, Cardinals, give me the Cowboys. And then Sunday night, Steelers, Raiders. I just think the Steelers will squeak it out. I think they have better luck than the Raiders, and that will play the difference. And then Eagles, Bucks. Give me the Eagles to get the win. Then Rams and Bengals. But Burrow might miss some time. I'm kind of leaning toward the Rams in an upset, honestly. I'll just go 60 points. Those are my early week 3 picks. I still got time to change them, but that's what I'm thinking right there. And we're going to close this one out. We're going to talk just a little bit about college football. Just a quick run through of some of the main events of college football. Pulling up my notes. Let's talk about it. You got LSU, Jaden Daniels balled out 30 for 34. Had a nice game right there for LSU. Helped give him a win. Eli Drinkwitz doing pretty good for Missouri, trying to get them some wins. As far as Ohio State goes, most impressed with Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to be catching dimes just like his daddy was for the Indianapolis Colts. He's going to, whatever team takes Marvin Harrison Jr., he's going to be doing the same thing like his father. Alabama, I think they're on the downswing now. I mean, their QB situation struggled. You had Jalen Milroe bench for Tyler Buchner from Notre Dame, and he came in and struggled, and they barely won that game too. This could be a sign Alabama's on the downswing. I think the Sooners are a bit on the downswing with 3 QBs in their lineup, and they couldn't get anything going with those quarterbacks. I mean, that just isn't going to work at any level of football, alternating quarterbacks, whether it be professional or college or high school or whatever. JV, you got to stay consistent with your quarterback at any level of football. And you got Shedeur Sanders had a nice comeback right there for Colorado against Colorado State. A nice performance right there from Shedeur. And if he keeps it up, his stock's going to get up as he gets closer to the NFL level. And we could be talking about Shedeur Sanders being a star, continuing his daddy's legacy, but as a quarterback instead of defensive back. And Colorado now, they're the hot team that other teams are looking out for. Some of these teams going against Colorado, they're going to start preparing for them more. They're going to start practicing more intensely because they see them as a top team to go against. But yeah, that's just a quick run through of week 3 for the college football games. So a lot of the main stuff that happened. But yes, so everyone that tuned into this episode, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like, subscribe on both channels. There's my channel right there. Hit that up. And then there's the Hardcore Sports Network channel. To sub up and subscribe if you haven't done so. And yeah, that's all I got for you right there for episode 15 of Sports Talk from the Heart with Nicky Steez. Until next time, signing off, and I'll catch you later.